YouTube, welcome to Geekshhh.
All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and unbox it. Let's see what we got here. Pull the two tabs. And the second tab. All right. Pulling it out here. Okay. There you go. Jeez, this thing's small. Ooh-wee. So, all right. Damn, this thing's small. My God, what else is in the box? Did they at least give me some stickers? Let's go. Lottery. Can we get the sticker? Did we enter the sticker lottery? The Apple sticker lottery. Can we get to it? We got the power cable. What they got here? This is just for manuals, I guess. So we didn't hit the sticker lottery with Apple. So maybe on the next product, you know what I mean? Maybe if we buy like a Mac Pro or something, we could hit the sticker lottery. I don't know. You know what's funny is I'm just looking for something to complain about. Even when I used to get the stickers, I never even used them. So I'm just looking for something to complain about. Damn, this thing is small. So, okay, so here we have the headphone jack, the little LED to let you know it's on, 2 USB-C ports, that's dope. Then we flip it around, got the power port, that's cool. Then we got the Ethernet, which is something that I'm really pissed off about because it's only 1 gig Ethernet. At this point in 2024 going into 2025, Apple, come on, man. 2.5 gig Ethernet ports should be the standard at this point. Especially on a Mac Mini, because you're more prone to have network storage on a Mac Mini than damn near any other computer. But I digress. HDMI port, I'm glad we still got that. Then 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. So, which I think is the sweet spot personally. I don't like the fact that the other models and the M2 and the M1 only had 2 ports, because 1 port goes to my external enclosure, my NVMe drive. Then the second port goes to my secondary monitor. And then I like to have 1 port free so I could do whatever I want to do. Basically, I'm gonna have to use it for like a 5 gig dongle or Ethernet adapter or a 2.5 since they don't want to put it standard on this. So that's the nonsense. Then when we flip it over, we have the power button. Now, so many people have been complaining about the power button that is utterly ridiculous. That, you know, I believe 80% of the people that was complaining about the power button, they ain't even gonna buy the Mac Mini to begin with. They just wanna find something to complain about, like I was complaining about the stickers. So, but once you turn it on, I don't turn off none of my computers. At most, they go to sleep. So it's not something I really care about. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping about it. How often are you gonna turn this on and off? This is one of the most efficient computers ever invented. So there's no need to really turn it off. You know what I mean? So.
All right, so turning on the computer and utilizing it, the first thing you're gonna notice is the speakers are just utterly amazing. Well, not really amazing, just more so just good. But if you're someone that had the previous generations of the Mac Mini, then compared to those, it's just utterly amazing. You know, those previous generations, we used to really just think to ourselves, why did they even put the speakers in there? That's how terrible it was. But this one blows me away because you're getting up to like 80, over 80 dB. I'm just shocked by the sound because this is the first time using a Mac Mini that I didn't feel like I need to plug in my own speakers. So that's crazy. Now, if they messed that speaker system up in this Mac Mini, I would have really got on Apple tail for the simple fact, my iPhone 16 Pro Max speakers is just amazing. It's like Dolby Atmos. So There's no way that they can do such an amazing job on a phone and then give a Mac Mini the short end of the stick. So I'm glad they came through with that. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, since we're talking about sound, I have to let you know, the fans on this do spin at a low RPM and you can hear it. Now, it doesn't really turn on when I'm just browsing the internet, but if I open up Adobe Premiere, I definitely can hear it. Now, my room at its quietest is around 21 dB, but as soon as those fans start spinning in there, it goes to like a good 23 dB. And it's not the fan spinning hard at all. You could tell it's at a low RPM, but you can notice it, especially if you have it on, you're hearing it, and then you put the computer to sleep or you turn the computer off. You definitely can notice the difference. So I gotta just let y'all know that. All right, so let's talk about storage. This is the $599 version. I chose this one specifically over the $799 version, which has double the storage, for a few different reasons. One of the reasons is you're supposed to put the least amount of data on your internal drive. Now you can accomplish that by getting yourself an external Thunderbolt drive and downloading everything you want onto there rather than the internal one. Another reason is, for the very first time in Apple history, with macOS Sequoia, they are now allowing you to install every application that's over 1 gig onto the external drive rather than the internal one. Not only that, you can't forget the fact that Apple also allows you to install the entire operating system on your external drive and boot from your external drive. So that will basically turn your internal drive into a secondary drive if you ever want to go down that route. Now, the main reason I'm telling you to go with the 256 gig version rather than the 512 is they both have removable storage. So what this means is you can ship your Mac Mini out to a guy named Dude DOS1. He has a YouTube page. He's based out of Virginia. And what he can do is increase the storage of your Mac Mini up to 2 terabytes. And he could do it for around the price of $400. Now, that might seem expensive to you, but you got to understand, this is something that you can do at a later date. Not only that, $400 is still half the price of what Apple charges. So that $200 that you're saving by going with the $599 configuration rather than the $799 one can go towards getting this upgrade done at a later date. So in the meantime, in between time, just use your external storage. Now, before we proceed, let me show you a disk speed test that I did on the M4 Mac Mini. On the left is a 1 gig test, and on the right is a 5 gig test. Now, let's talk about something that you cannot upgrade later, and that will be the memory. Now, for most people, 16 gigs of RAM will be more than enough for them. If you're just doing basic tasks like browsing the internet, listening to music, etc., I really can't see a reason to upgrade from the base model for you. But if you do things on the computer like coding, 3D modeling, or like me, editing in 4K, I quickly realized that 16 gigs just wasn't enough. When I opened up a 4K project in Adobe Premiere Pro, I quickly saw that it was utilizing close to 12 gigs of memory. That's just insane. Now, over time, that number did reduce significantly, but no matter how much that number lowered, I still saw that I was still utilizing swap memory. Now, if you don't know what swap memory is, it's basically when you tap out of memory, the system then uses some of your storage as memory to get you over that hump. Now, don't get it twisted. You can still utilize the computer while swap memory is being used, but it's a good indication that you might need more memory for the things you're trying to do on your M4 Mac Mini. All right, so obviously I need one of the 24 gig memory models. Now, let's talk about the M4 Pro first. This is obviously a beast of a computer, but the reason that I wouldn't really go this route is because of the price tag. Now, for $1,400, you are in the used M1 and M2 Mac Studio price range. Now, the cheaper Mac Studios come with either the M1 or the M2 Max chip in it. Now, this is not as fast as the M4 Pro. We already know that. But we can't act like they aren't still fast chips. You see what I'm saying? They only came out a few years ago. Not only that, it's also in the Mac Studios, it comes with certain features that's more beneficial for me personally. For instance, it comes with a 30-core CPU standard. It also comes with 32 gigs of memory standard. So for me, it's a better bang for my buck personally, if I was to go this route. But I think I'll just stick with the $999 version. It goes for about $899 at Micro Center. And I believe I'll be able to get an open box eventually for anywhere between $750 to like $799, which is basically a steal at that point. So for me personally, in the meantime, in between time, while I wait for that open box to come in, I'll just stick to my Hackintosh, which definitely does a great job. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not lacking in any way currently. So I'm gonna just stick with it, and what it's going to do is be able to buy me time until that open box comes in. Now, before we wrap this video up, I just want to talk about Adobe Premiere rendering times. So I got a little video that I did on my channel called Titan Ridge, how to install it on the Hackintosh, right? So when I test out certain computers, you know, I try to render that video out in Adobe Premiere and see how long it takes. So in my Hackintosh with a Radeon 7 in, I can render that video out at around 21 minutes, right? When I take that out and put in my 6800 XT, I could get that down to like 14 minutes and 45 seconds, right? Now with this little small M4 Mac Mini, I can render out that video in about 17 minutes, around 17 minutes. That's insane to me. That blows my mind. This little computer that's like around $550, depending on where you purchase it, you can render out a video without a discrete graphic card and only 10 GPU cores in 17 minutes. That same video that takes my computer, my Hackintosh, all that time, that blows my mind. I can only imagine what the M4 Pro could do, the M4 Max, or the M4 Ultra. Damn it, I can only imagine what the M5, the M6, the M7, the M8s that's coming. I can only imagine what they're going to be able to do. If this little small $550 computer can catch up that close to my Hackintosh, which has a discrete GPU in it, that's mind blowing. All right, so as I'm closing this out, I just want to tell y'all a quick story. So back around 2005, 2006-ish, you know, around 20 years ago, you know, flat screens was becoming affordable. So I remember buying my first flat screen for like $800, $900 or some nonsense like that. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to get a Mac Mini and I'm gonna plug it to my flat screen, and that's going to be my computer. So that's what I end up doing. My very first Mac ever was a Mac Mini, and it was that compact Mac Mini, and I still have it to this day. And it still works, by the way. If you was wondering, it still works to this day. So I don't use it, but you know, it still works. So that was, you know, crazy for me. You know, it was the nostalgia of it at the time, getting such a compact computer. I believe it was the smallest computer out at that time. Don't quote me on that. And I remember women coming to the crib and they was using my computer. You know, they're on the flat screen using my computer, and they was asking, you know, where's the computer? Now the computer was right in front of them. They could not believe that that was the computer. They had the same, their mind was blown just like me when I first got it. I get that same feeling using this Mac Mini. It's the same nostalgia, like, wow, like something so compact. You know, me, I've been around for a while, so I seen, you know, all the computers come and go. So that was crazy to me. You know, I get the same nostalgia. You see what I'm saying? Not only that, to think I'm going from a Hackintosh to this, which is basically the size a PC, the size of a PC. I'm going from that to this, and I'll still be satisfied with the performance. Like, that's mind blowing to me. You know what I mean? As you can see, my Hackintosh is water cooled. What I need water cooling for, the most this is going to do is like 43 watts. I don't even need water cooling. That's mind blowing to me, man. Granted, I did get the water cooling for when I was gaming on it, but still, you know what I mean? It's still mind blowing to me, man. So it's a full circle moment for me personally. So if you got the M4 Mac Mini, please get in the comments and let me know what you think. You like it, you love it. What do you dislike about it? You know what I mean? Let me know what you think overall. Anyway, my name is DeMarco Payne for Geekshhh. And last but not least, may the good news be yours.